Greetings, Captain. Searching database. Accessing. Opening hailing frequencies.
Hello YouTubers, Millshive here to bring you this month's Lore Post video. This series of videos is intended to bring Star Citizen's rich lore to the forefront as it seems to be widely ignored and forgotten about. Please let me know if you like it, what can be built on, or if you have any specific lore topics you'd like to discuss in the comments below. This month's video, we will be talking about the current state of the persistent universe and the United Empire of Earth's government. What is its structure, and how will that affect the game? All the information I'm going to review can be found in the Galactopedia, the link of which is in the description of the video. Star Citizen is set 930 years into our future. The year is 2951, and the system of interest in the game at the moment is the Stanton system. However, this is not the only system under the UEE's control in lore. Right now in the game, we can experience life as a UEE citizen or as someone a little less reputable than a citizen. We can interact with the different types of security around the system, either in space, in station, or on a planet. And yes, those interactions do have an effect on how your gameplay will be in the future. The United Empire of Earth, also known as the UEE, is the name of the current human governmental body. It is led by a democratically elected imperator, a tribunal of high advocate, high secretary, and high command, and a legislative body composed of elected representatives from human-controlled planets known as the UEE Senate. So we have three branches of government: the Imperator, the Tribunal, and the Senate. The Imperator is the official head of government. Bills and legislation that start in the Senate and that have been approved by the High Secretary move up to the Imperator for approval or veto. Imperators serve only one term of 10 years. It is the highest office that a citizen of the UEE can obtain, and it was an office originally created by Ivar Messer in 2546, and it was originally an inherited office during the Messer era. The Tribunal is an executive governing body in the UEE. It is made up of a High Secretary who is responsible for infrastructure, High Command, which is a three-person position responsible for managing each of the military branches, and a High Advocate who is responsible for law enforcement. The Tribunal was initially formed alongside the United Planets of Earth, but was established when Ivar Messer I first took power. The Tribunal was reinstated by the UEE Senate and Imperator Aaron Toy in 2791. Finally, the Senate is a governing body responsible for writing, evaluating, amending, and passing or rejecting legislation, setting the governmental budget on a yearly basis, and advising the Imperator. It is composed of elected representatives from each recognized planet within the borders of the United Empire of Earth. Each planet is represented by a number of senators determined by the planet's population or sphere of influence. A senator serves for 5 years and can be elected an unlimited number of times. Formed in 2523, it is the oldest continuous branch of human government. The UEE was formed after the conclusion of the First Tevaran War in the 26th century. Then High General Ivar Messer claimed that the tribunal system and Senate were rendered ineffective by bureaucracy and introduced the concept of prime citizen, a singular figurehead of the government to unclog the perceived governmental quagmire. Once elected, he stripped the United Planets of Earth's High Secretary and High Advocate of their office and utilized the power of the military to declare himself Imperator for life. Descendants of Messer reigned as dictators for centuries, modifying and corrupting the governmental system to further ensconce their power. In 2792, they were ousted from power in a popular uprising, which instated the current democratic government structure. So now we have an idea of where the UEE came from, as it were. And I know you may be asking, but Mill, why does this matter? It's boring! It matters because it's part of the universe we play in. The lore helps define why systems are the way they are, and how we can interact with them. And for many, including myself, it's fun to delve into the story of a system. Many times we hear the term citizen tossed around a lot. Did you know in the UEE that's not the same as a civilian? It's true. A civilian is a resident of the UEE who has not taken the steps to become a citizen. At the age of 17 standard Earth years, a civilian can own property, can vote in local elections and legislation, and must start paying taxes. All civilians are eligible to hold planetary-level political office. Civilians cannot serve on the UEE Senate seat or be elected to the office of Imperator. Although not afforded some of the privileges of citizens, civilians are still protected members of the UEE. A citizen is a resident of the UEE who has actively taken a role in making the UEE and humanity better. Often this can be achieved through military service, the performance of exemplary community service, or a success in a government-proctored application. Citizens of the UEE are offered some privileges that civilians are not afforded, including the ability to run for a seat on the UEE Senate, apply to work for the UEE government, attain the office of Imperator, and the reception of a special dispensation to pay lower taxes. So just by looking at lore, we now know there are actively two classes in the UEE, and one class gets government benefits while the other doesn't. Isn't this awesome? Yet no. Two classes kind of sucks, doesn't it? On top of this, the UEE government has several departments that affect everything around it. There is the advocacy, the UEE Governor's Council, the Department of Transportation and Navigation, or the DTN, the Imperial Cartography Center, also known as the ICC, and the UEE Diplomatic Corps, as well as political positions like the UEE Representative and the UEE Governor. The most common agency we see in the verse right now is the advocacy, which are the UEE police officers, for a better way of explaining that. They like to stop players frequently and be a general nuisance if you hang around low orbit stations for too long. They even like to pull over, if you will, fighters and scan them for contraband, even though they have no cargo space. Just saying. Also, recently players were given the opportunity to vote in the recent Imperator election of 2950, and the new Imperator is Leilani Addison. She campaigned with a platform of increased government spending on education and scientific research initiatives to launch a new era of innovation, and she would authorize highly regulated AI research to support these advances. With this, we get our first taste of what the change in lore will do to gameplay. The devs said in a Star Citizen live broadcast that this could result in many different mission types, as well as outposts now accepting new kinds of goods that were previously considered contraband. The potential for the player base to influence the future of the lore, and in turn the game, is huge. Not many realize how in-depth things are with Star Citizen. But anyway, I digress to other topics for another time. I do hope you enjoyed learning about the UEE with me today, and I'd love to hear your thoughts about them in the comments below. Please consider supporting my channel by hitting that like button below to help my channel get seen by more people. And if you like my content, don't forget to subscribe so that you won't miss a video. And if you want to discuss future lore topics or other video topics with me, I'd love for you to join the community on Discord. You'll find a link in the description below. And finally, I'd like to thank all of you who do support my channel. Without you, none of this would be possible.